Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday, and welcome to today's educational presentation, where today I want to talk to you about the very first strategy I ever learned. Now, not only was it the very first strategy I learned when I first started trading around 48 years ago, I actually continue to use this strategy to this very day. In fact, I was using it this morning. So, whoops, went a little quick there. Let me just go back. There we are. Welcome to this educational presentation. My name is Stephen Primo. I'm the president and founder of Specialist Trading. Been trading now for 48 years, and we're going to do something a little bit different. That's why we kind of skipped ahead there. We're going to go right into showing you a lot of these examples of what this method is. But before we begin, as always, we're required to share this with you, so please take a moment to view our disclaimer. I'm going to show you a lot of performance results using this particular method, but please remember that we can in no way guarantee that any of the examples I'm about to share with you will be repeated in the future. And remember, all examples are strictly for educational purposes only. Now, to get more education on a daily basis, please feel free to follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter. There's our handle right there, at SPCLSTTRADG. I post upwards of 5 to 7 different snapshots a day of signals that our methods have generated, and lots of financial wisdom to get you going in the right direction. So lots of great free information on a daily basis. Also, we are broadcasting this live on YouTube right now as well. So for all the people watching us on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. We'll give you a lot more content in the future. Okay? With that stated, let's begin. We're going to jump right into it. We didn't waste any time. We're going to be talking about strategy number 4. You've heard me mention it before that this is the very first strategy I ever learned, and I continue to use to this day. So let's share with you some recent strategy number 4 examples. And on top of that, I'm going to give you the first 2 rules to this method. There are only 4 rules altogether. I'm going to share with you half of them, okay? And you can see them in action in these examples. Okay, let's start out by looking at this chart. We're looking at a fairly recent chart of Amazon, just about 3 or 4 weeks old here, okay? Someone looking at this would just obviously say, well, Steve, it looks like we're in a downtrend. We're making lower highs, and this is probably be a good place to sell because it's getting ready to make a lower low. But are we really in a downtrend? Here's the first rule of this particular strategy. We want to apply the 50-period moving average. And once we apply it, we have to ask ourselves a question. And that question is, where is price in relation to that 50-period moving average? Now, obviously, the majority of price bars are above. Now, the more price bars above, the better the odds are in our favor that the overall trend is up. But it could just be 1 or 2 bars. That would be fine as well. Now, as you see, the bars are above in relation to the 50-period simple moving average. So this is telling us the overall trend is up. So why is that important? Well, if the overall trend is up, we're only going to be a buyer. We will never go against the overall trend. That would be similar to swimming upstream, right? Now, sure, every once in a while you get a great sell. By sell, I mean going short, a sell signal above the 50-period moving average. But over time, you will be more consistent if you're in sync with the overall average. All right, so that's rule number 1. We always apply the 50-period moving average, regardless if it's a 5-minute chart, a daily chart, or if it's a monthly chart. It makes absolutely no difference. Okay, now rule number 2 is we want to look for a price bar, one of these bars that closes in the top 25% of its range. That means towards the high of its range. Now we look here, we see some closing in the middle, some closing in the low, but we only have one that closed in the top 25%. That's this one right here. Okay, so that's rule number 2, which has been met. Now there are 2 more rules that are required in order for a signal to be generated. Now, I'm sorry I can't divulge what they are right now, but if you take my course, you'll learn right off the bat what those 2 remaining rules are, and then that's the beauty of our platform. You can check your work. So once you think you've identified a valid signal, you click on strategy number 4 in the green strategy tab, and once you see the drop-down menu, click on signal arrow, okay? And you can check and see if you had a valid setup. Now, as we see right here, yes, we did. We had a valid setup that was generated right here. So that's a buy signal. And look what happened. The stock went up 20 points coming into this month. That's how simple this process is. Let's look at another example here in EA. All right, this is going back just a couple of weeks here. Obviously, we're just basically going sideways, right? In fact, this is a no direction market. Most traders and educators would say, stay away from this. There's absolutely nothing happening. You're going to get whipsawed or just be in this for a long time. But is there really no direction happening? Because the first rule, once again, is to apply the 50-period moving average. And then once you've applied it, you ask yourself the question, where is price in relation to that 50-period moving average? Obviously, price is below. So what is the market telling you? Not me, not some guy on TV or some convoluted indicator. What's the market telling you? It's telling you the overall trend is down. And if the overall trend is down, we're only going to look at this from a seller's perspective. Remember, we're never going to go against the overall trend. Obviously, there may be some great buy signals below the 50-period moving average, but it's been my experience and what my mentors taught me, the same thing some nearly 50 years ago, is that the odds will be in your favor if you follow this simple rule. Okay, so that's rule number one. Now, rule number two is we want to identify a bar that closes in the bottom portion of its range. Now, there are a number of bars here. This one closed in the bottom portion. This one did, or no, I should say this one did, and this one did, and this one did. But remember, there are still two remaining rules left, all right? And the only one that met all of the rules was this particular bar right here. So let's check our work. Let's see if this is a valid strategy for sell signal. Click on strategy number 4 in the green strategy tab. In the drop-down menu, click on signal arrow. And yes, it is confirmed that is a valid sell signal. So you could have sold on the close there if you're a more aggressive trader. And look what happened. 28 points in just one day. Now, obviously, some news came out causing this to drop like that. But remember, strategy number 4 or all of our methods at Specialist Trading, none of them are based on fundamental news or announcements. They're all based on price behavior. How about Costco? Obviously, it's going up, right? Higher highs, higher lows. But we follow the first rule and apply the 50-period moving average. And even though it's going higher, it's still below the 50-period moving average. So no, we're not going to look to buy yet, all right, until this bar, okay? Look what happened. We opened lower, but closed above. Now, even though we'd like to see more bars than just one, that's still okay. It's still an aggressive strategy for setup because we closed in the top 25% of its range. So once again, we check our work, and sure enough, this was a buy signal. You could have gone long on the close, and in the next week or so, potentially captured 78 points. Here's an example in CTAS. The stock was basically going sideways, but then it fell out of bed, so it looked pretty bad, right? But then it started to firm up. And so you say to yourself, well, you know, maybe it's hit some type of a bottom. Maybe it's hit some major support. So maybe I should look to buy this. It's going to go all the way back up. But we didn't follow the first rule. We apply the 50-period moving average. And so far, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bars below. That's more than enough to tell us the overall trend is down. So we're not going to even consider buying this. Now, we look for a bar that closed in the bottom 25%. Well, this one did. And this one did. But which one met all of the rules in strategy number 4? Well, it was this one. So we check our work, and yes, it was a valid strategy for sell signal. You could have taken this sell signal on the 16th of December, and in just 3 days, potentially captured 30 points. Here's an example in KLAC. Now, someone looking at this would say, gosh, you know, how could I have taken advantage of this? How would I have known this stock was going to take off? Well, if you applied the 50-period moving average, you would have known well in advance back here, once it had consecutive closes above, that it wanted to go higher. Then you just look for the remaining rules of strategy number 4, and you see that there were 2 bars closing in the top 25% that met all the rules, and there were valid buy signals. You could have potentially captured 95 points in 1 week. You see, our job as an educator is to provide you with this information so that you can make your own trading decisions. Once you know how to do that, you really put the power back in your hands. All right, let's look at this range market in VRTX. This is what you're told classically to stay away from, right? Because every time it goes up, if you buy it, then it goes down. And you sell it, it goes back up, so you buy it again, and then boom, it goes right back down. This is a classic whipsaw range market, right? Well, maybe not, because if we apply the 50-period moving average, we see that you should only have been looking at this from a seller's perspective, because all of the bars, with just the exception of one, have closed below the 50. And even though this closed above, it wasn't a valid strategy for a buy signal. All right, so we want to look for bars that are closing in the bottom 25% and meet all of the remaining requirements in the strategy 4 sell signal. And that's this one right here. It's a valid sell signal. So you could have sold right here on this day here, and in one day potentially captured 70 points. See how powerful this method is and why I continue to use it to this day. All right, let's look at an entirely different market, an entirely different time frame. This is the 4-hour chart of the euro yen for all you currency pair traders, okay? Market is going up, right? So you got to be a buyer. But what's the first thing we do? We apply the 50-period moving average. And what's it telling us? It's telling us that the overall trend is down. And even though we're going higher, this is actually a selling opportunity. So we're not going to look for a place to buy. We're going to look for a place to sell. We want to identify a bar that closed in the bottom portion of its range. And the only one we can find is this one right here, okay? So we ask ourselves, where is price in relation? Price is below. Where is the price bar that closes in the bottom 25%? Right here. So those are the first two rules of the strategy. You check your work to see if this is a valid sell signal. If the other two rules have been met, click on strategy 4. Click on signal arrow. And yes, you were correct. That is a valid sell signal. So you could sell right on the close if you like. It's our more aggressive way of trading, or waiting for some other ways to enter. But either way would have been profitable, because look at 170 pips in the next 2 days to the downside. Okay, that's roughly about $1,700 per unit. Potentially you could have captured. How about a 15-minute chart of Microsoft? Nothing changes just because we go to a smaller time frame. If you're an intraday trader, the way I am, you can use this on smaller time frames. Same process applies. We're above the 50, so that's telling us the overall trend is up. We look for a bar that closes in the top 25%, which is this bar, and the remaining two rules of the strategy are met, so it's a valid buy signal. And look what happened. 5 points in the next two bars, or roughly 10 minutes of trading, okay? Or it should be 30 minutes, I'm sorry. How about a 4-hour chart of the Canadian dollar? Once again, the same process. We're above the 50-period moving average. We look for a bar that closes in the top 25% and meets all of the remaining rules of strategy 4. 225 pips in just 4 hours. That's over $2,200 per unit. Okay, let's talk about these highlights once again of strategy number 4. It's a pattern recognition strategy. Remember, we're not relying on any news events, any fundamental announcements, any earnings reports, or any economic numbers that come out. It solely looks at market behavior through this pattern. And this pattern repeats in all markets, in all time frames, just the way I showed you, over and over again. So it generates a lot of signals. It's designed for traders looking to catch that quick momentum. And you can apply it to any market in any time frame. And it only uses one indicator. And you already know what that is. It's the 50-period simple moving average. Okay? So this is a pattern that we look for, and we teach you all of the rules to identify that pattern. Now, you know the first two rules, but the remaining two are still only available to those who decide to become a course member of the strategy number 4 course. So ask yourself, just off the short announcements of the examples I share with you, do you think strategy 4 can help your trading throughout 2025? We're just a month and a half into into 2025. Most likely, you're already having a difficult time trading, right? How would you like to get your trading back on track for the remainder of the year? Well, we have an extremely, very special attendee discount for all of you today. I want to share with you what it is, because we have a lot to offer. This is obviously our new strategy number 4, our most consistent strategy promotion. We're going to offer you the entire course, the complete course rules for entries, exits, and stops, but we're not going to stop there. We're also going to throw in an entirely different strategy. That's strategy 3A. Now, right here on the promo box, it says E-mini strategy 3A. Trust me, it's not just for E-mini. When we first started teaching this method years ago, it was just for the E-mini market, because that's where most of the volatility was. This is a continuation method that relies on volatility. But we found out through our students, with increased volatility in all the markets, that ultimately you can apply to any market in any time frame. So don't get confused by the E-mini strategy 3A title right there. It works on any market, any time frame, and you'll get the complete course rules where we teach you all the entries exits and stops. For example, let me share with you a few trade example. Here's one in Lulu. Now, someone looking at this would say, okay, well, I'm interested in buying this, but I want a little bit more action, a little bit more confirmation. So you're kind of on the sidelines. Something happens, maybe you start following another stock or following another market, and then all of a sudden this happens. The volatility just comes screaming into Lulu, and you miss the trade entirely. Well, strategy 3A didn't, because it generated a buy signal right there, and you could have potentially captured 82 points in just 4 days. Works to the downside as well. Here's an example in RLP. Let's just say you were long this stock, and you're saying to yourself, well, it's not going in my direction, but I'll hold off. That guy in that chat room says this may be a bottom right here, so I'll wait and see how it acts. And then you forget about it, and lo and behold, the volatility really comes into this stock, and it's to the downside. And now you have a major loss on your hand. Well, the beauty of strategy 3A is that you could have caught a sell signal right there, which would have gotten you out altogether of the stock. You would not have been in the stock at all, and either saved yourself 50 points, or if you were more aggressive, you could have actually sold that and potentially captured a 50-point gain. So this is strategy 3A. Now, everything you've seen today has come displayed on our platform, the PTS Primo Charting platform. This is the educational platform that actually teaches you how to trade, because everything is one click away. We teach you all the rules in the course, but then all you have to do is click on the signal arrows to see and check your work to see if you're properly identifying this. Now, we have an extra added bonus for all of you attending today. I said there was going to be a lot we're giving you today. What we're going to do is offer you a full 6 months free of the platform. So along with strategy 4, along with strategy 3A, you're also going to get full 6 months of the platform absolutely free. Now, included with the strategies, you'll also get things like our enhanced buy sell line feature. These are 4 different ways to tell what the overall trend is, okay? You'll also get auto-generated exit levels that you'll only find on our platform with 1 click. A strength of trend tool that tells you if there's more room to the upside or downside with the trend, or if it's running out of steam. Over 90 of the most prominent technical indicators, along with things that you won't find on any other platform because they're only taken from my years on the floor, okay? Here's one of the best things about it, though. You're going to get our signal scanner, where with strategy number 4 and with strategy 3A, you can scan for nightly signals, for setups for the next day. And one more bonus. Told you there was a lot included in this. Each and every one of you signing up today will get a PDF copy of my book, Secrets of a Stock Exchange Specialist. This is where I go into detail. I explain on a trade-by-trade basis what it was like to trade during the crash of 1987. I also talk about how I first got started on the floor. So this is a great extra bonus, included a PDF copy of my book, Secrets of a Stock Exchange Specialist. Okay, let's break it down. This is what we call our Primo Strategy 2-pack. You're going to get stock strategy number 4, which, remember, you can use for any market at any time frame, as well as strategy 3A, which you can apply to any market, any time frame. This includes 6 months free of the platform, which also includes a lot of different extra perks and tips and techniques that I can't go into, don't have enough time to go into, that are just you'll find on the platform and no other platform as well. Included will be the PDF version of my book, Secrets of a Stock Exchange. These are all designed to take your trading to the next level. So let's break it down for you, all right? Mostly, if you purchased all this separately with all the different things included, it would cost you close to $7,100. Well, that's too much for you to expend just in one lump sum. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to drop that tremendously down to only $297, less than $300. You can pick up 2 strategies, 6 months of the platform, and a copy of my book, Secrets of a Stock Exchange Specialist. This is a discounted price of $297. You're going to save over $6,800. But please remember, this is for a limited time only. I told you this was a super discount. We're offering you a lot of things just because we want to get your trading back on track. $297 down from almost $7,100. Invest in yourself. I know the year just started, but instead of investing in what someone else is telling you what to do, or some chat room or some system that you have no idea what it's based on, invest in yourself. We teach you all the rules. You know exactly why you're buying or selling. And a year from today, I promise you, you will have wished you took advantage of this special offer, because it will be back to $7,000, or who knows, possibly even higher than that. Here's how to take advantage of this great offer. Contact Pro Trader Strategies, my sister site. I would highly recommend giving them a call at this number, 310-598-6677. They have trading consultants manning the phones right now. They'd be more than happy to take your order over the phone or answer any question that you may have. Now, that link you see at the very bottom is the link that will take you to the sign-up page, or it's just for more information. It's an info link. You can copy and paste that, but it's not a live link. There is a live link that has just been posted in the chat box. So if you go to the chat box and you just click that on, you'll see that a live link was posted there and you can click that on, okay? So that's what you want to look for. Now, I've left this information here. So if you want to ask me any questions, now is the time. You can copy down that information, copy down that phone number, and go to your chat box or your question and answer box, okay? Let me open up the question and answer box. It says, in the 6 months of PTS Primo Charts, does it include real-time data? I believe so, but that's a better question for Pro Trader Strategies because they're in charge of all the data and they're also in charge of all these discounts. So honestly, I don't know offhand because this is the promo that they're promoting. Pro Trader Strategies is in charge of all that. So I would give them a call or email them. Remember, there's absolutely no obligation. If you give them a call, you can find out in 5 minutes. But I can almost guarantee, but even though it's not coming from me, I'm pretty sure it is real-time data. Okay. Just give them a call. They're very flexible. They're there to work with you, and there's no obligation to buy anything if you don't want to. They'll answer the questions you may have, okay? Someone asking, are these black box methods? No, you learn all the rules. You'll learn all the 4 rules to strategy number 4. You'll learn all the entirely different rules to strategy 3A. Strategy 4 is based on a pattern. Strategy 3A is based on a proprietary setting for an indicator. So they're entirely different, and they look for different things in the market. So they're great ways to have in your toolbox to increase your odds for consistency, okay? Are there any other added costs like subscription fees or data or platform fees? No, this is the only fee, $297. Now, once your 6 months is over, sure, you may get an offer to re-sign up for another 6 months or a year. That would be the only other thing. But in terms of the actual strategies, no, there's no resubscription fees or platform fees. All the information is there for yours to keep, okay? Good questions. Any more while we still have you? Okay, remember, as I promised, this is a great offer today, down from roughly $7,100 down to less than $300, $297, but it's for a very limited time, probably only for the next day or two going into the weekend. So if you're at all serious about taking your trading to the next level, please give Pro Trader Strategies a call. Once again, there's absolutely no obligation. They can answer any questions you may have, but give them a call at 310-598-6677. They have traders answering the phones right now. They'd be more than happy to either answer your question or take your order if you like. You can be up and running with both strategies as early as today, as well as the platform, okay? All right, if there are no further questions, I just want to thank you so much for attending today. Remember, Strategy 4 is a great method. I use it every day. I had a couple of trades today where both were profitable. So I just want to tell you, I honestly use this. I trade E-mini futures with it. So it makes no difference what market or what time frame, all right? As we close and take one last look at our disclaimer, I would like to thank each and every one of you for taking time out of your Wednesday to listen to me speak. I really look forward to you taking advantage of that really discounted offer, and I look forward to seeing you in the Strategy 4 as well as Strategy 3A course. Thank you so much. Have a great day trading and hope to see you in class. Bye-bye.